Hi guys, and welcome to the Stuttering Mind. My name is Ramasiva, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click on the red subscribe button below. Thank you. I make videos on stuttering and how to improve speaking. I'm an author and speaker. Let me share with you my truth. I'm convinced that the stuttering can be overcome by the power of rich thinking. That is, the stuttering no longer needs to be a part of your life. After writing my first book, Rich Thinking, available on Amazon right now, I no longer felt the need to stutter, and even if I stumble over a few words, I have decided to leave the baggage with President Donald Duck. Quack quack. I'm now 41 and I've had this stuttering habit since the age of 8, over 30 years. That has meant over 30 years of holding back from life. But the day that my son was born, I decided to go after my dream and write a book. Available on Amazon right now. I digress. So for me, the stuttering was an extension of my holding back from life personality. Once I chose to write a book and went after my dreams, the stuttering habit was something that was no longer necessary for me to hold on to. Even though I'd been to speech therapy and many speech courses over the years, the level of my speech, and more importantly, the level of my self-confidence, hadn't improved. The fear of stuttering meant I had developed a fear of speaking and held back in life. Life is inherently meaningless, and when I held back in life, I wasn't living. I had decided not to go on to the stage of life. I had taken the hits from society to mean that I wasn't worthy, I wasn't good enough, and I had given up. I was living in my head. My stuttering mind was constantly talking. Yes, in my head, I would not stutter at all. I would have hours of conversations, toing and froing, debating the finer points of life. However, I had a chink of light. I could speak when I was alone. I could speak out aloud. I could read out aloud. However, I had developed a fear of being myself when in the company of others. How could that be? Just look at any child. They love to play. My son Leo, who is now 14 months old, he loves running around, chasing squirrels, picking up leaves, and chasing ducks around the park. He is fully taking part in life. There is no holding back, no thought of, hey, what would other people think of me? There was no self-judgment, no self-talk, nothing. At some point in my childhood, I developed unhealthy beliefs about myself, which resulted in questioning myself and doubting myself. This grew over time to become the monster that it was. Where before I would even get on to the stage of life, I would withdraw like an actor with a broken leg and watch on from the sidelines while the inferior substitute actor took my place. That was the sad reality of it. For over 30 years, I had held on to the fear of living and had died. It was only when my son was born that I started chasing my dream of being an author. I wrote a book after interviewing 20 entrepreneurs. Here's my book again, Rich Thinking, available on Amazon right now. I was terrified, scared as hell of contacting people. What would I say? How would my speech be? I then came across an article about a young man, Ollie Forsyth, who was dyslexic and bullied at school. Despite this, he had started his own business, made a success of himself, and got featured in newspapers. I managed to get an interview with him. After this, my mind switched, and I was on a mission to contact as many people as possible. I managed to get 19 other people, and over the period of talking with them, the stuttering habit started to dissipate. And when I went on to BBC Radio, that was the time that my mind was blown away. I could quite clearly hear the stuttering had gone, and more importantly, I felt I was no longer controlled by the stutter. I was living my dream life. Yes, sure, I would stumble over words, but that didn't mean I would label myself as a stutterer and be limiting myself again. I was no longer in school and would not be sent to speech therapy again. That was the difference. Even if I stumbled over words, I would not be sent to the speech therapy jail. I was free from the repeated cycle of doubt and negative feedback. I didn't care if I stumbled. Prime Ministers stumble over words, and it doesn't mean when they stutter they're sent to the speech therapy jail. That was my breakthrough. I have now taken on a persona of someone who is comfortable with speaking irrespective of whether I stumble over words or not. I finally ripped off the stutter label from my psyche and life. By choosing to become a person who is no longer afraid of life, I became free from the cycle of doubt. My good friend Eric Edemidis shares in my book Rich Thinking about how the mind looks for evidence. And so, when I was in the stuttering jungle, my mind would constantly find evidence that my speech wasn't good and I was inferior. And whenever I would stutter, I would feel ashamed. This cycle would build up until I was depressed. Be the person you want to be. Don't let the stutter define who you are. Believe you're great and great things are on the way for you. It's time to leave the stuttering mindset behind and replace it with an empowering, courageous, and confident one. Greatness is within reach. Just look around the corner. I dare you to look. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please do like, comment, and share this video with your friends. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Bye for now.